All right, guys, let's chat. Hey guys, Chimeretrielle here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing the elephant in the room, the quarantine 15 that some of us have been struggling with amidst this pandemic of COVID-19. So as we all know, at the end of 2019, starting in China, COVID emerged, and it has basically traveled all across the world, affecting so many people and so many different lives. And unfortunately, a lot of people, along with myself, have lost loved ones due to COVID. But outside of that, COVID has kind of disrupted our patterns and our routines a little bit. Even though some people in different countries, they're starting to pick up the pieces, things are starting to get back to normal. For people like myself, which at the time of this recording on May 30th are still very much on a lockdown with heavy restrictions, and our schedules cannot go back to normal yet. I am personally still working from home. Everywhere I go, I have to wear a mask, and things are still just out of whack right now. And one of the things that is out of whack is our routine. And part of our routine is how we eat and when we eat. And with our routines being so out of whack, we're eating all sorts of things that we probably wouldn't eat normally if we have our normal schedule. So I wanted to share with you guys today some things that we can do to kind of put some structure back into our routine so that we're not constantly gaining weight. So I just wanted to bring to you guys some ideas to help put some things back in place with your routine so everything isn't too crazy and that we're not constantly gaining so much weight. So the first thing I suggest is to meal prep and schedule your meals. When you meal prep, you're not as indecisive about the things that you're going to eat, and you have very much control over the things that you are eating at that time. You're a lot more engaged and you're a lot more conscious of the things that you're putting inside of your body when you meal prep. So I really think this will help you to kind of have that structure and eat a little more healthy. Also, to create structure. So what I mean by creating structure is setting like timers on your phone, for instance, of certain times of the day that you eat, and you stick to that structure. So for me, I engage in intermittent fasting. So I have very specific structure in my schedule. So I know when I eat and I know when to stop eating. That helps me stay on target in terms of my weight and my fitness goals so that things aren't too out of place for me and I'm not gaining weight so rapidly. This structure I also think will help you to avoid processed foods, and you also don't want to drink your calories. So don't engage in drinking lots of sodas or juices, things with a lot of sugar. That's only going to add more and more calories, and those pounds are going to spike up on that scale. This would be a perfect time to try new recipes if you're into cooking. My advice is to go on to Pinterest. Pinterest has hundreds and hundreds of different meals and different recipes to try. So that could get your wheels turning, trying something new, and it might turn out to be something that you really like. The second thing I recommend is to engage in at-home workouts. Guys, working out at home is so effective. You do not need to go to a gym to be able to work out and get your fitness goals in. Your own body weight is enough resistance for you to be able to get a good workout and a heavy sweat in and still be able to burn those calories so that you're not gaining weight. My advice is to work up a sweat at least 2 times per week. My latest video, 15-minute abs, which is right here. If you haven't seen that video yet, I will link it down in the description box so you can watch that video after this one. If you're liking this video so far, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know, are you struggling with weight gain during this quarantine? And if you are, what are some things that you would like to put in place to help you get back on track? The third thing I suggest is to stay busy. Start up a new hobby, do things that interest you, things that you might have put off in the past that you said you don't have time for. Now is the perfect time to start reintroducing those things. Idle time is the devil's playground, so you always want to stay busy and try to avoid boredom, because when we're bored, that's when we engage in things that can be really detrimental either to our lives or to our health. So always stay busy. I actually heard of a site called Skillshare that has like tons of different videos on different topics. They're like classes in a sense of things that you can learn to do if you're into knitting or sewing or photography, YouTube, anything that you can think of is on Skillshare. This is not sponsored in any way. I just happened to come across someone that was talking about Skillshare, and it seems like a really good idea if you're looking to start a new hobby. I will put the link down in the description box if you're interested. The next thing I suggest is to stay hydrated. Drink some water, guys. If you've been watching the last 3 or 4 videos of mine, you know that I am a huge advocate of drinking water. I always use water when I am hungry and it is not quite time to eat yet. If you don't know, the body cannot differentiate being full from food or water. So if you consume water when you're feeling hungry, or if you're getting urges and you're like, oh, I just gotta eat something now, drink some water. It really will help you with those hunger cravings. Simply put, entertain your mind and it will save you from boredom. Some people, when they're bored, they eat. The next thing that I suggest is to track your macros, at least until we can get a little more stabilized and live our normal lives. I know some people don't like to track macros, but during this pandemic, having to be inside and not being able to live your normal life, this really will help you to stay on track so that you're not overindulging in certain foods. When you buy things, just simply look at the back, take a look at how much fat, how much carbs, how much calories are in those foods, and just take those into consideration when you start to do your cooking or your meals for the week, so that you stay in a specific range and you're not overindulging in those bad macros. The next thing I suggest is to simply move a little more. Take a break. If you're working at home and you're sitting in front of your computer all day, or if you're not working right now and you're just watching TV, regularly just take a break and move around. Get your body moving. Burn a little bit of calories. Go for a walk in your neighborhood. More recently, I started going for runs in my neighborhood, which I never used to do before. I would always go to my old high school track, or I would go to the gym to run, and I love running in my neighborhood. My neighborhood is so scenic. I'm getting my exercise in. I do it first thing in the morning when I wake up, about 3 times per week, and it really gets me going and ready to get my day started, and I know that I'm getting my day started on the right track. So these are all of my recommendations of avoiding weight gain during this quarantine. If you like this video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. And guys, I know that we're bored. I know that we want to get back to normal, but I really encourage everyone to stay strong, keep practicing social distancing, wearing your mask when you go out. It's really going to help us to beat this pandemic so that we can get our lives back to normal. In my next video, I'm going to be talking all about how to stay motivated on your weight loss journey when you have had a setback. If you're interested in that, make sure that you subscribe down below and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when that video drops. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.